So Bryon Powell of iRunFar here at the finish line of the inaugural Trail Runner Ultra Race of Champions, aka UROC. Geoff, it's been a long time since I interviewed you for a victory. As you pointed out yourself, just so people don't hate me. Yeah, so congrats on the win today.
Thanks.
I would say you had a perfect day out there, but you didn't.
No.
Let's start out on a low note. What didn't go right out there today?
Which time?
Yeah, okay.
No,
it looked like you went on a roller coaster, literally and figuratively today.
Yeah, I think it must have been 3 or 4 different times when I saw you, I mentioned like things which probably didn't sound good, but then other times I was really in a groove, and I guess in a lot of ways it reminded me a lot of, I guess the last time I did a post-race victory interview with you was after Western States last year, and this kind of almost made that whole experience seem pretty easy and minor in terms of like that was one big turnaround. Today I felt like I had that like 6, 7, 8 times, like just extreme low points followed by great points, and I'd come through one aid station and just totally pumped up, feeling great, gaining ground on everybody, and then a mile later I was feeling like crap, and it just went like that.
And it didn't matter, like it didn't seem like it was tied to road versus trail, it was totally in the moment.
Yeah, at times I felt great on uphills. Not many, there were a few good uphills. The flatter stuff all day I felt fast, and like trails certainly, I'm always strong on trails, and definitely the trail stretch from like mile 47 to 52, where Wardian went off course, I was cruising. I mean, that part, once I peaked out and started down, like, I'm bummed for a lot of reasons that he went off course. One of them being I would have just loved to see at the aid station at the end of that how much I know I would have gained a fair amount on him in there, unless he was running that much stronger than he was running trail stretches all day.
But here's a quick question on that point, just taking aside. On the Devil's back, or the Dragon's back, out and back, he only gained 50 seconds on him in 8.2 miles.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not that technical, but he was holding his ground.
No, he was for sure. And, I had heading out Dragon's back, I felt really good. And it was just another small kind of stretch of my day where, like, felt really good going out, thinking, okay, turn around, I'm going back the same trail. It just kind of rolls up and down. And I felt pretty crappy coming back. It was like I was emotionally feeling really good when I got back to the aid there. Like, a lot of people were there, pretty excited. I moved from 5th to 2nd just in that stretch. Yeah. But yeah, even within that stretch, I had all kinds of ups and downs, and really wasn't feeling great. I was feeling really good emotionally just to be back in the race, and to be, with the exception of Crow Pass this summer, the first race since April where I was like that far into the race feeling like I was still a competitor in the race, and so it was just fun to be racing for a win. Totally. to try to win, and
yeah, because you were not giving up when Wardian was ahead of you. When you found out you were in 2nd, or you could count if you were in 2nd, but yeah, like coming back out of like the Dragon's back section, you definitely seemed focused, even if
that was
you had the fire in your belly a little bit.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, it was really all day. It was cool. Like early on, I felt good for a while. People were just flying. Mackie, it's really unfortunate. He got, he had bronchitis leading into this, and ultimately that took a toll on him. He went out super hard, but probably, had this race been a month ago or had he not been sick, he probably could have run that kind of race and done this thing in 8:20 or faster or something. I mean, it was impressive how hard a lot of those guys went out, but obviously for most of them it kind of took a toll on them. Wardian ran a really smart race.
Did he impress you with that? I mean, because you've raced him a bunch of times, like the North Face stuff and Western States, and he's never really been in the race with you for in the second half.
Yeah, it's been most of the races I've run with him. He hasn't really had good races. For him, he's still had some decent runs, finished pretty well, but he's never really nailed a race I've been in. And definitely today was like really impressive in terms of I certainly have a lot more Well, I mean, I already have a lot of respect for him, and anytime I've ever raced him, it's like he's run a race the weekend before, or sometimes on like the Monday before or something, you know, and so it's just like super impressive, and I've always been super impressed with him, but definitely today he took that to a new level just in terms of like, you know.
He used to be feared on the trails, huh?
Yeah, and he wasn't, I mean, it seemed like most the entire day he was climbing a lot stronger than me, and that kind of caught me off guard, and there's probably a combination of he was climbing strong today and I wasn't really climbing strong, and a lot of this summer when I felt a little off, that's been the thing, is I haven't felt strong climbing. I kind of just recognized that today really early on and took advantage of my strong points. I was definitely putting a lot of time, at least early in the race when I was running with Mike a lot, I was putting a lot of time on him anytime we hit trail. But if it was a climb on trail, I wasn't. So.
Cool. Any other surprises in the field today? I mean, only top 5 are in, but in my mind, there were a couple surprises out there.
I mean, I guess I came into this kind of knowing there was going to be some surprises.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's certain individuals who surprised me either with great performances, or it seems like a lot of people had tough days and had to drop, unfortunately. But it was definitely, there's just so many wild cards in this field. So yeah, I mean, some people had some great runs. I mean, it's cool to see Matt Flaherty come in where as strong as he did, and he seemed to have an up and down day, and I think Ian had a really good race. And so I think that I hope some of the guys who, some of the newer guys too, someone like Scott Gall, like I hope he, you know, if he wants to, I hope he sticks with and keeps trying some longer stuff, because he'll be incredible once he, you know, he's never run further than 50K, not training or racing, and that's sort of, he was really strong through 50K and then kind of hit a wall, and that's kind of almost across the board the way it goes for people when they suddenly run further than they've ever run before. So
now, how about the race itself? Not the competition, but you know, the course. It's no one ever run it until today, or no, you know, major competitors should run it until today. Do you think it's a good way to match up talents where yours are a little more mountain strong? You're still a great road runner. Wardian's a good trail runner, but he's a great road runner. Do you think it is a good equalizer?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely feel like if it were like trail the entire way, it would suit my strengths a lot more. But at the same time, like it's fun sometimes to just kind of put yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and, you know, try to. And I'm not slow necessarily on the roads, and I've done well at AR and had some decent races with a lot of road. I mean, that Santa Barbara 100 I did this spring had 30 miles, I think, of road, and it's fun to do something a little different. Definitely, you know, not a course that I probably, you know, would, if everybody here had a great day, including me, I probably wouldn't be standing here doing a victory interview right now. I had a lot of persistence and some luck, and you know, a lot of combination of things allowed me to win the race. But yeah, no, it's a fun course, fun race. I think it seems to me like
he's going to grow next year. I mean,
a few people I've talked to seem to be impressed with the event and the course, and it's definitely tough. I mean, I'm the only one that came in under 9 hours, and I came in just squeaked in under 9, and you know, I think it's doable quite a lot faster, because I certainly didn't have my best day ever. And
but sub 8 hours would still be you said that before the race, and you're like,
oh, I knew. Yeah, I mean, he was kind of projecting like top runner might be in 8 hours, and you know, I don't know if it ultimately had the 13,000 feet of vertical they were saying or not. It didn't seem to me like it had that much vertical. I had a lot, but you know, it'll be interesting to see what some people with different GPSs and altimeters got on vertical. But at any rate, it's just kind of relentless, and it sounds like most people got it a couple miles over 100K, and you know, all those things combined. Yeah, maybe somebody could run. run 8 hours here. There's like a little Spaniard I know of that might be able to, but
I think we know who you're talking about.
And you know, Mackie could probably run a hell of a lot faster than I did today. I could probably run a hell of a lot faster than I did today, but 8 hours would be a really special day.
So you're gonna actually take some time away from racing until North Face, or?
Oh well, definitely until that. If I race again this year, that would be the earliest. I don't know that one. We'll see.
Satisfying performance today?
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, one of the more satisfying races I've ever had. I mean, it wasn't satisfying in the sense like, you know, like where it wasn't like I went out and just had this like physically spectacular day. But I didn't really come into it expecting that. You know, anytime you want to race, you hope for that. But I would have been shocked if I had that today. I basically trained for 2 weeks for this race. So to just grind it out for that long and to just go through so many low points and just keep finding a way to keep moving. I told you on the course, like I was worried I was moving backwards at one point. I ended up feeling that way about 5 different times where it's just like... I
tweeted some of those out because they were like pretty innocuous, and like there were some hilarious like back and forth. You're like, and then you're like, I learned how to run again. I think I was immediately thereafter.
Yeah, that's what it was like all day. It was like 1 minute I felt like, I'm not even sure I'm still moving forward right now, and then 20 minutes later, I was feeling great.
Well, cool. I'm glad it worked out in the end for you. Congratulations, and thanks for taking the time.
Sure.